Good afternoon. I'm Mike Sontag, Dean for the School of Arts and Humanities. I'm pleased to introduce our keynote speaker for this year's celebration of teaching and learning, Assistant Professor of Art and Design, Dr. Michaelann Kelley. This is Michaelann's first year as a Mount faculty member, but she's no stranger to our community. She earned her BA in art and her MA in education here at the Mount, before going on to earn her doctorate in curriculum and instruction at the University of Houston. Prior to her return to the Mount, Michaelann served as Director of Visual Arts for the Aldine Independent School District in Houston, Texas, where she worked on the development of visual art curriculum and instruction. Prior to that role, she was a high school art teacher at Eisenhower High School in Aldine for 23 years. Michaelann is an advocate for the arts, especially in enabling students to develop their own personal voices through the artistic process. Collaboration and reflection are priorities in her work, and she promotes the concept of teachers learning and growing together to increase student success. She's been a Critical Friends coach since 1998 and has published numerous articles, chapters, and is an author of a new book about her long-term collaboration in local school reform work. It's available as an ebook in our Mount Library. Among other awards, Michaelann was named Teacher of the Year at Eisenhower High School in 1999 and received the Stanford University Outstanding Teaching Award in 2013. She received the Mount's Outstanding Alumna Award in 1995 and the Texas Art Education Association's Outstanding Art Educator Award in Administration and Supervision in 2018. We're so glad to have Michaelann back at the Mount. Without further ado, I give you Dr. Michaelann Kelley.
Thank you, Dr. Sontag, for that introduction. Good afternoon. I was going to open with a cicada joke, but it seems Dr. Williams has already beaten me to that punchline. I am Dr. Michaelann Kelley, Assistant Professor of Art and Design here at Mount St. Joseph University. Welcome to our celebration of teaching and learning. Spring is here, and the 17-year cicadas will be upon us. I would have hoped that was our biggest challenge we would be facing. Sadly, the COVID-19 pandemic is still here, and we continue to live with the challenges it presents. Preparing for this celebration of teaching and learning, I was reminded of an ancient Eastern folktale. There were schools of golden carp gathering under the dragon gate, trying to leap over the gate to become dragons. Today, in China, carp jumping the dragon gate is a metaphor, symbolizing good wishes for achievements, advancements, and life-changing moments. Many of these life-changing moments have come at us very quickly, especially since March of 2020, and we each have faced our own gates. My journey to Mount St. Joseph University has not been a straight path, as I am sure most other people's journeys have not been either. I started my teaching adventure in a large urban high school, Eisenhower High School in Houston, Texas. While a visual art teacher there, I became involved in public school reform and school change. Our high school received a Houston Annenberg Challenge Grant. The grant was multifaceted and looked at not only addressing the school accountability dragon, as Dr. Cheryl Craig described, but also shifting the educational mindset of all the stakeholders. Leadership at the high school intuitively knew that a shift would not just happen. Reflecting on how changes have been made in his life and career, the principal implemented graduate courses as part of the school's action plan. I jumped on the opportunity to take these Rice University courses on school reform, action research, and reflective practice. These courses, taught by Dr. Craig, now with Texas A&M University, provided the foundation of my collaborative and individual research, both in formal and informal arenas. This new learning shaped the way I approach teaching in my art room. Immediately following the ending of the funding, I began pursuing my doctorate in curriculum and instruction with a focus on teacher mentoring. I spent almost 8 years teaching full-time while finishing my degree. The perseverance to complete my degree was as strong as my passion for the work I was doing in the schools. I had become and still am a national facilitator and trainer for critical friends work in education. My dissertation was a 10-year-long longitudinal study of a collaborative group at Eisenhower High School. Even though 8 years is a long time in graduate school, the time was well spent in developing my theoretical base in narrative inquiry, implementing reflective practices on an individual as well as in an educational community, and building solid, sustaining relationships with colleagues on the high school campus and the university. After completing my degree, I continued as a high school classroom art teacher. I loved teaching, and I still love teaching. So when I was approached soon after graduation by a district administrator on why I had not applied for any assistant principal positions, I was shocked about being asked, but was prepared with my answer. I responded, I did not go to graduate school to count keys or textbooks. My passion is working with teachers and students. My thought then and now is that I believe that the importance of my work lies in working with teachers and students who are the future for changes in our communities and in our society. The opportunity to be a change agent in someone's life is not something to be taken lightly. I hold that responsibility very tightly and recognize that being trusted with that gift is precious. The work and the learning adventures I've had with my colleagues in the portfolio group has allowed me to be self-aware of my passion and talents, and to have the courage to make decisions that others might not see as a clear path to the Dragon's Gate. That conversation and decision ended up being the best 3-minute conversation that was born out of 15 years of reflective practice. 6 months later, a position as the director of visual arts opened up in my beloved district. I was in Germany at the time and received a call from numerous people about the opening and how it would be perfect for me. This position was exactly what I was looking for to fulfill my passions. The director position combined my love for the visual arts and working with teachers and students. I applied, and I was thrilled to be chosen for the job. I enjoyed 5 years as the director, even though many times the arts were hit hard by the tail of the dragon of accountability, what my colleagues and I call the Western Dragon. This position as the director led me to being able to jump the Dragon's Gate of career achievements, as seen in the Eastern philosophy. We, the visual arts teacher and myself, had worked together to build a strong and vibrant visual arts program that received numerous accolades. The visual art teachers were fulfilling their own opportunities and jumping their own dragon gates. I had chosen not to swim upstream in the muddy waters for an assumed leadership position that might lead to jumping the dragon gate of someone else's vision or goal of success for me. My path and vision of my future was not always easy, but I always wanted to be a part of working with and guiding others in reaching their gate and becoming their own dragon. That choice to follow the path less traveled has led to opportunities I had no idea awaited me. As life would have it, my pinnacle at the top of the Dragon's Gate in my district administration position was short-lived, as another challenge and body of water called my name. I recently switched educational landscapes to begin my journey in the ocean of academia, here at Mount St. Joseph University. And I will delve more into this journey later. I am taking on this new opportunity to learn to swim upstream again in the midst of a pandemic. My past experiences will inform my new journey and help me jump the next gate with my new colleagues and students. I tend to use metaphors in my work to illustrate ideas and thoughts. In researching the Dragon's Gate metaphor, I came across this quote by President John F. Kennedy that was the initial idea for this keynote. The Chinese used two brushstrokes to write the word crisis. One brushstroke stands for danger, the other opportunity. In a crisis, be aware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity. John F. Kennedy. The quote by President Kennedy has been disputed for its accuracy in the interpretation of the Chinese characters, but I believe the message speaks to our current situation. As I reflected on the quote, I think Kennedy is accurate in his conceptualization of the need to identify opportunities in the midst of a difficult situation. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a crisis in so many ways. We have been faced with countless challenges, each with its own set of dangers and uncertainties. I wondered, have we recognized the opportunity in the midst of our present crisis? Have we seized this opportunity to make meaning in our lives? Have we been innovative and creative in our pursuit of purpose for our work? It is these questions that I explore. Creativity has been a huge player in all dimensions of my life. The visual arts have been a part of my identity since I was 10 years old, when I found solace in creating a painting of the Easter Bunny. Throughout my life, I found time to create. I worked as a designer for a professional association. I then returned to the Mount and began hand building ceramic vessels and raku firing them. The evidence is displayed all over my home. I eventually turned to photography as I traveled more. What began as documenting my travel experiences soon became a creative outlet for sharing my adventures. When the pandemic hit the United States, I was in Houston, alone. I intuitively turned to creating to find a way to make sense of what was happening. I started by observing my neighborhood in a new way and documenting that through photography. I then turned to learning new techniques and creating new paintings with my newfound knowledge. Each piece, though not a masterpiece, was a means of moving forward, a way of actively creating something, of experiencing something, of managing how I face the mental suffering of uncertainty. As a result, I have produced more artwork in the past 14 months than I have in the past 14 years. In the midst of this chaotic year, I have definitely been able to begin to make sense of the fulfilled life I want to live. In the beginning of this COVID crisis, while isolated in that small apartment in Houston, an opportunity presented itself. A tenure track position was opening at the Mount in the art design department. I was beyond excited. I would not only be teaching students again, but importantly, it would be a Catholic university. And on top of that, I would be only 15 minutes from my family, whereas I had been 18 hours away for the past 28 years. Recognizing the opportunity, I immediately began updating my CV and my art portfolio. I applied for the position, I was offered the position, and made the 1,200-mile move to Cincinnati and Mount St. Joseph University. The significance this makes in my life connects to the fact that I enjoyed working in administration and working with adults. I love teaching, guiding, and opening up new paths for young adults. My life, work, and artistic pursuits have started to weave together because I have consciously been thinking about coherence, significance, and purpose, and how that melds with finding meaning in life. In its pursuit of academic excellence for its students, Mount St. Joseph University has confronted dangers and economic challenges while managing to provide a safe place for all. How is that achieved on such a scale? President Williams, the MSJU cabinet, and the faculty recognized the opportunity and seized control of the crisis known as the coronavirus pandemic. The university put safety protocols in place, developed new online schedules, and challenged its faculty to create meaningful instruction via a new in-sync structure. But how do we go about making meaning from this crisis that has so disrupted our lives? We have turned long-held visions of traditional university instruction upside down this year. James C. Kaufman stated that the most important component of leading a fulfilled life is achieving meaning. Making meaning in my life right now, which has also been flipped upside down with a huge move and a new job, seemed a lot easier than creating a foundational studio art course online, in sync. If I'm being honest, I was terrified. I had no idea how to use Blackboard. I had minimal knowledge of Zoom. And above all, I wanted the students to learn. I wanted each student to be better when the class was completed than when they entered. The Drawing One students in their first artwork in August started by making sense of their new life and of the pandemic during college life. The students used an art and text prompt to begin their art making. Each artist was instructed to put visuals in the circles of people, places, or things, activities that bring them joy. In the background of the artwork, the artist used words of various sizes and type fonts to release the stressors in their lives. Looking at our first piece, this artist finds joy and comfort in love, friendship, and dance as seen in the circles. The text reflects her insecurities with college life and her artistic abilities. The second artist has illustrated playing catch with his dog, his home, and his girlfriend as safe places. The text, which is visually exciting, reveals the artist's inner feelings with COVID-19, appearance, and others' perceptions that he is lazy. The last piece in this art and text series reflects the artist's solace in cross-country, their faith, and family. The text seems to reflect a greater awareness for the transition from high school to college life and the dilemma of online learning. These are a few examples of the way our art and design students are making meaning of the pandemic crisis, their transition into university life, and their self-awareness. Martella and Steger proposed that there are three key aspects of meaning: coherence, significance, and purpose. Coherence is being able to make sense of one's life, as opposed to perceiving the past as being a series of random and chaotic events. Coherence involves identifying the unity or continuity in one's life. Significance is seeing value, joy, and connection in one's everyday life. Purpose is having plans and goals for the future. The art and text pieces that I just shared address coherence and significance. But how does it make art have a purpose? The drawing students some who've never had an art class in high school, to students that lived in their high school art room, present a range and present a challenge to the purpose of a studio class. Is the purpose of the class to teach skills and techniques? Is the purpose to develop artistic voice? Others might say the purpose is to create something powerful or beautiful. My dilemma has always been that I believed an art class should do all that. As an artist myself, I can understand the skills required to create a still life of 3 basic shapes. As you look at this artwork, you might think, I could do that. Or, so what? It's just a box, a ball, and a cylinder. Take a moment and really look at the artwork. Most people spend less than 13 seconds looking at a piece of art at the Louvre or the Prado. Looking at this piece, you can appreciate the overlapping of the shapes and how each shape has value added to create an illusion of 3-dimensionality. You can observe where the light is coming from in the room and how the artist has illuminated the light by leaving the paper show. You might also have thought there's something off. You would be correct. The ellipses in the cylinder and the cube top are not following the rules of perspective. Frankel suggests 3 ways to find meaning: creating a work or doing an activity, via an experience or connecting with somebody, and the last, the manner in which one faces inevitable suffering. Many of us have not faced daily intolerable suffering in our lives. However, the coronavirus has brought a new dimension to our lives, in that we have faced quarantines, adversities, and possibly economic strains that we had not previously come up against. I find my suffering during this time comes from the uncertainty, the unknown that is ever present in this midst of the pandemic. This might not be the inevitable or intolerable, but uncertainty plays a huge part in our physical and mental health. So how do we make meaning of this new normal, which is anything but normal? Kaufman argues that the most natural and reciprocal relationship is between creativity and meaning. He highlights numerous ways in which creativity can serve all 3 dimensions of Frankel's concept of finding meaning. I'm going to focus on Frankel's first way of making meaning by highlighting Kaufman's link of creativity and meaning in the creation of artwork. Observing, thinking critically, and being able to give students authentic feedback is how we can make meaning in creating a work or doing an activity. As children, the adults in our lives would give us advice, or as we probably saw, tell us what to do. Storytelling, parables, and folk tales all have meaning beyond the literal words. The story of the ugly duckling is not about the swan. Learning to see beyond the obvious is a skill that will be meaningful for a lifetime. How do you teach, guide, and mentor without telling? One of my professors, mentor, and now friend would say over and over again, "Show me, don't tell me." As you look at this artwork, you might wonder, what skill or techniques were they teaching? There is no value change. There are no varying line weights. It is just black and white. I could have had the students draw the actual plant, the cup, the book focusing on the positive. But looking at the object is what we have been trained to do. We need to change our perspective to truly see the beauty of the curve of the coffee mug, the bend in the leaves, and the thickness of the book. Even though the details of the objects are not there, the negative space does not take away from us seeing the objects. I've heard many people say, focus on the positive. But maybe if we look from a different angle, we will see that the meaning making comes from using the negative to clarify and illuminate the positive. One Mount St. Joseph freshman art education student pointed out that her professor has helped her by pushing me to expand my horizons, push my boundaries I have created in my head, and helped keep me motivated. During these times, it's hard for me to focus and stay motivated, unlike other times in my life. And I feel like your classes are the ones I strive to push through. She is not alone in seeking to stay motivated. Many of our students are challenged to find coherence, significance, and purpose in their first year in higher education. I would also challenge any of us to declare that we have not been challenged to stay motivated this year. That lack of motivation is even stronger with Zoom and COVID-19 fatigue. One way to combat that is in these last few weeks is to change things up. A foundational skill in drawing is value. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. You saw value used to create the illusion of 3 dimensions on a 2-dimensional surface in the still life drawing. Value goes beyond a pencil and can be achieved in many ways. The grayscale collage is an example of how to change things up and challenge students to think differently about a concept. I am looking at this pandemic and my first year teaching at the Mount, not as a challenge or crisis, but as an opportunity to make changes in my personal and professional life. A freshman graphic design major gave me feedback stating, "I've seen you as one of my favorite teachers in ways that you helped me out in all my classes. And I remember when you taught me what blind contour was." That still sticks with me, actually. I'm not being a kiss up here, but you've helped me with making me take my work seriously, but also being a helping hand for me since these are my first art classes. Having this has really made my art and my knowledge of art grow tremendously. This student's feedback not only reflects how he is making meaning of his first year at the Mount, but provided me with evidence of what I see as my purpose as an educator. Still today, I remember the interaction perfectly. He was not in my drawing class, but was sharing before a different Zoom class. I took a moment and taught him a little bit about blind contour. We then went on with our design class. Thinking back, this was not a big epiphany or aha moment in my teaching, nor do I think for the student in his art making. The learning piece is that these small moments we spend with our students add up. If the interactions are negative, it could add up to a bad memory or no impact on their life. But if each small moment is authentic and genuine, they add up in a very positive way. During the past year, we have also seen changes and innovations in our work as faculty, particularly in our ability to teach our students in ways we might not have previously thought possible. We have taken tools that are usually not part of our teaching toolkit and zoomed forward into a new way of teaching and learning. We must also remember that our students have faced numerous barriers and challenges. The Mount students have learned how to learn through technology beyond the latest TikTok dance. They have also gained opportunities through the challenge. Emma explains, "I have had opportunities to relax and take some time for myself. I got to create more art since I was stuck inside." The 3 pieces are part of Emma's portfolio and reflect her artistic sensibilities, as well as her exploration of the various 3-dimensional media. The opportunities I've had since the pandemic is to spend more time with my family, and specifically my baby sister. I also have been able to do more photography, which I love. This was from Elena. Elena's love of photography is reflected in this Andy Goldsworthy inspired piece. As an artist, she has made compositional and color decisions to guide the viewer. Marie, another art and design student, states, I've had opportunities to get closer and work more in nature. Before, I felt like I was such an inside person, and the pandemic has allowed me to do more outside and love nature. This piece by Marie reflects her new love of nature, not only in her words, but in her art. Russell described his opportunity as too many to count. I've had the opportunity to play football at a higher level, actually go to college and meet new people and new friends. And lastly, I've connected and reconnected with relationships and have made those connections stronger than they were before the pandemic. I've treated it as a new life, more or less. Each of our students is on their own path to finding their balance. Some find that the work-life balance in the arts, sports, service, education, health sciences, or business. The advice I can offer to our students is find your balance and you will enjoy work and life. When another crisis arises, praying it's not as big as this corona pandemic, remember your purpose in life. Throughout my life, the visual arts have been a coherent thread, bringing balance to my life. Visualize, if you will, a balance like the one Lady Justice holds, with work on one side and life on the other. In my world, balance is the visual arts, the link between the work and daily life. That is to say that I found the connection and the meaning in my life through the arts. Each of us, in our own way, must find our balance. What brings coherence, significance, and purpose to our lives? So as I look to set my new goals for my university life, or should I say, face my new Dragon Gate, I need to focus on my purpose. My journey has been met with challenges and barriers, but climbing the hill or jumping the waterfall to meet those challenges has provided me experiences that now guide my decisions. My solid education at the College of Mount St. Joseph, my work experiences in Aldine Independent School District, and my Catholic beliefs have all prepared me to meet the crisis of COVID and any others I may face in the future as an opportunity. Lastly, one word that reflects the way we overcome a crisis and seize opportunity is perseverance. The perseverance that has been shown here from our president to our students reflects the mission and goals of our universities and the Sisters of Charity. I have never been more proud to be alumna and faculty of Mount St. Joseph University. We, as a Mount St. Joseph University community, need not lament our losses during this crisis, but rather to celebrate the way in which we have confronted challenges and forged ahead with the opportunities that we have been blessed to recognize over the past pandemic year. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Heather Crabb, Associate Provost for Academic Support. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you to the 2021 Virtual Honors Convocation at Mount St. Joseph University. We will begin with an invocation from Sister Karen Elliott, Director of Mission Integration.
Let us take a moment and recognize the presence of the divine and the holy within each and every one of us. Divine higher power, you created all people, all cultures, all languages. We ask you to fill our hearts and our minds that we might become more deeply aware of and honor the spark of the divine within us and within every human person who you have created in your divine image and likeness. May El Shaddai, Elohim, Adonai, give us the courage to make wise choices as we respond to the grace of the present moment. and remain faithful to our commitments. May Allah grace us with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that we will live by the values we hold deep within our hearts. May Lord Shiva and Lakshmi grace us with anger at injustice, oppression, and the exploitation of people, so that we will work for justice, peace, and the common good. May the Great Spirit grace us with the foolishness to think that we can make a difference in the world, so that we will do the things which others tell us cannot be done. And may God, through the power of all the sacred and holy names by which the divine is known, bless us deeply, that our integrity will be a gift to the world as we dare to risk a caring response every day of our lives. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Karen. Teaching and learning are at the very heart of any academic institution. Today, we are motivated and inspired by the teaching and learning that takes place at the Mount. I hope that everyone had a chance to attend the thought-provoking sessions and panels held this morning, which included the Quality of Life Forum on food insecurity, student research presentations, and a session on mediated identity during the COVID-19 pandemic. I also hope that many of you had the opportunity to hear our inspiring keynote presentation, Recognize Opportunity, presented by Dr. Michaelann Kelley, Assistant Professor, Art and Design, who is also a Mount alumna. And now we move into the Honors Convocation, where we celebrate academic achievement, leadership, and outstanding teaching. The students, faculty, and staff we will honor today embody the ideals and values of a Mount education. They have reached for the highest standards of academic performance and shown remarkable character on campus, on athletic fields, and in leadership in the community. It is a privilege to recognize them today for their achievements and their accomplishments. Please welcome Dr. Diana Davis as we recognize these remarkable members of the Mount community.
Hello, everyone. I'm so very proud of everything that we have accomplished together as a community over the last year. It's not always been easy, but I continue to be inspired by the hard work of our students, faculty, and staff. The university's continued success is the direct result of your dedication and determination, even in the face of difficult circumstances. Make no mistake, the entire campus community deserves recognition. Recognition for the things we do every day, recognition for things big and small. We have dealt with losses of all kinds. We've had to care for others, and others have had to care for us. We've had to come up with new routines and new ways of doing things. Simply put, we've had to make a way. And I salute you. I salute every member of the Mount community for your resolve. You are what makes this university great. You are what allows this university to live out its mission. We see you. You are all valued, loved, and appreciated. The first group of students who will be formally recognized today are those who qualify for the Academic Achievement Awards. Academic Achievement Awards are presented to those full-time students who have completed at least 29 semester hours at the Mount while maintaining a 4.0 cumulative grade point average. This is a very significant accomplishment and deserves recognition. Honors Program 2021 graduates. Alumni Book Award. Jane Cuny Armstrong Award. Sister Jean Patrice Harrington SC Award. Sister Frances Marie Threlkel OSU Leadership Award. St. Catherine of Alexandria Medal.
As a charter member of Kappa Gamma Pi, which is the National Catholic College Graduate Honor Society, the Mount has elected graduates to Kappa membership every year since 1927, with 25 new inductees from the 2021 class. As a Kappa member from the Mount class of 1973 and a past national president of this Graduate Honor Society, it is my distinct honor to acknowledge today the 2021 recipient of our St. Catherine Medal, an honor bestowed annually to an undergraduate at Kappa Gamma Pi affiliated institutions. Named for St. Catherine of Alexandria, who is noted for her intellect, integrity, and faith, the St. Catherine Medal is for an undergraduate who represents the high ideals of a Catholic education, exemplified by that student's leadership and service to the school. As was the case with the 2020 medal recipient, Sarah Miller, we are unable to personally present this award today. However, we are pleased to recognize Brooke Rouse as the 2021 St. Catherine Medal awardee. We acknowledge her past achievements, and we wish her continued success in her future leadership and service roles. Congratulations, Brooke.
Mount St. Joseph University ignited a passion in my heart to provide service in a world desperate for love and peace. Our mission statement proudly states our dedication to serving the common good. When I began my time at Mount St. Joseph, I felt a calling to participate in service. My first service trip was in New Orleans, Louisiana, with the St. Bernard Project. For a week, my classmates and I worked on a foundation of a house that would be given to a family in need. It was extremely warm, and it was frustrating to build a home from scratch. Yet, throughout the week, I saw firsthand the love of Christ in myself and others. Service is offering your God-given talents to those in need, and I knew that my hands and feet were building a home for a family to make memories in. This trip established my desire to work in service one day. Last summer, I was offered a position to oversee the summer heat relief program at St. Vincent de Paul. Within this position, I saw neighbors come up to me drenched in sweat to pick up their ACs. It taught me an important lesson: to love even when it is hard. This experience opened my eyes to the everyday luxuries I take for granted. So, I decided to love as much as I could, if that was a smile, starting a conversation, or directing them to our other services. My service is not limited to the outside community. I am heavily involved at the Mount. I am president of Student Government Association, a member of the Interfaith and Lions for Life clubs, a campus co-op and presidential ambassador, and I serve on various committees such as the Student Experience Committee. I recognize the need at the university to represent the students in the Mount itself, and that is extremely important and precious to me. In my future, I am planning on taking a service year before I look for appointment in advocacy or as an immigration lawyer. I am so thankful and honored to be the recipient of the St. Catherine of Alexandria Medal. Thank you.
Excellence in Leadership Awards. Distinguished Student Awards. Undergraduate Student Award. Graduate Student Award. Sister Adele Clifford, SC, Excellence in Teaching Award.
I am deeply honored to be this year's recipient of the Sister Adele Clifford Excellence in Teaching Award. It's the greatest honor I could imagine to receive an award based on a student nomination, and I'm very grateful. As an undergraduate, I went to a school about the size of the Mount. It was as an undergraduate that I first decided I wanted to become a professor, actually during an organic chemistry lab. So after lab, I wandered the science building, popping into every open door and asking my biology professors if they liked their job. They told me that teaching energized them, that making a new class from scratch was tough, and that it was helping students that made the job so rewarding. At the time, I was appreciative of the advice and answers to my questions, but what I perhaps didn't appreciate enough was that my professors had built a culture that made me feel comfortable enough to wander into their open doors and ask my questions. Those professors I had were the first in a long line of people whose support has been invaluable to me over the years. My friends, family, and doctoral advisor who supported me through my PhD, my colleagues in the biology department and beyond who kept me sane, I'd especially like to thank my chair, Dr. Andy Rasmussen, and my dean, Dr. Jean Kritsky. Anyone who's worked with me knows that I am chock full of ideas, some of which I hope are good. And I have been incredibly fortunate to have a chair and a dean who found a way to say yes to my ideas when it would have been much easier to say no. When I interact with people across the campus, from the Blackboard team to the provost's office to the building and grounds team to the Learning Center, I've always been struck by the collective passion for helping students here, and I'm grateful to be part of that kind of a team. I'd like to thank the undergraduate researchers in my lab. Y'all have shown incredible initiative, ingenuity, flexibility, and independence, especially in this past year. Your positive attitudes make research fun. I'm so proud of what you've already accomplished, and I can't wait to see your success in the future. Finally and foremost, I'd like to thank all my students. The days I love my job the most are days in which my students ask challenging questions in class, tell me about how their sports games went, send me a news article related to what they just learned, get excited about a lab experiment, finally master a tricky research technique, or work hard and get a big win in any area of their life. And y'all have given me a lot of days to love my job, even in this incredibly difficult year. From talking to a lot of you, I know that things are a struggle right now, and many students have shared that they feel disappointed in themselves and how things have gone this past year. But from where I sit, I think that by making it through this year, even if it hasn't always been pretty, it's shown that you're flexible, you're resilient, you're capable, and it makes me proud to teach you. I told you that I found my passion as an undergraduate student, wandering the halls of the science building and talking to my professors. And I found out that what they told me is true. The best part of the job is helping students. So now that I'm a professor myself, I want to pay their help forward. So to my students, I want you to find the career path that makes you excited to go to work. And if I can help you get there, my office is on the ground floor of the science building, and I hope that you'll wander in with your questions. Thank you.
Emerging Scholar Award. Adjunct Faculty Excellence in Teaching Award. Sister Elizabeth Ann Seton Mission Award.
In 2001, the Mission Committee of Mount St. Joseph University established the St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Mission Award, the highest mission honor bestowed by the university to honor and to recognize those who live out the mission day after day in an exemplary manner. The individuals honored distinguish themselves by daring to risk a caring response in their service to our Mount community and beyond. Amy has dared to risk a caring response in the most challenging of times. In addition to continuing the care of current students who utilize health services, coordinating health insurance enrollment and participation, collaborating with various health science departments across campus, coordinating immunizations and physicals for our professional students prior to their field work or clinical work. She has done this with the goal in mind to keep our campus open and safe. And she achieved this because of her dedication in responding and communicating to students, having a safety plan in place, supporting students in quarantine and isolation, and collaborating with Hamilton County, the University of Cincinnati, our Mount St. Joseph athletic trainers, and other members of the emergency response team to manage all aspects of our COVID-19 safety plan. Amy's constant and ongoing commitment has required untold hours outside of the regular workday, and she has risen to the challenge with grace and her wonderful sense of humor. On behalf of the university's mission committee, it is my great honor to present Amy Demko, our health services manager and registered nurse, with the 2021 St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Mission Award. There are few individuals who embody the mission of Mount St. Joseph University in all aspects of their lives, as does Keith. Keith has numerous opportunities to guide our students as they integrate life and learning, as well as encouraging them at all times to strive for excellence in their academic endeavors. Keith gives students opportunities to ensure that they will be poised to have the best experience possible, and shows that he values them in the work that they do. One of the best examples is Keith's efforts to help a student fulfill his experiential learning credit. The student faced many challenges, and so Keith struggled to find an opportunity for the student to fulfill his work. However, the student is very academically gifted, but also has an autism diagnosis, which made working one-on-one or with groups very challenging and problematic. Keith worked tirelessly and diligently with this student to obtain a service learning situation in which the student would be able to use his writing and analytical skills, but it would limit his interactions with others. And Keith accomplished this during the quarantine. Keith is a social justice advocate in the true spirit of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. He is generous, he has boundless energy, great compassion, and in all things, he dares to risk a caring response. On behalf of the university's mission committee, it is my great honor to present Keith Lancer, our Associate Director of Service Learning and Civic Engagement, with the 2021 St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Mission Award.
Congratulations to all of our awardees. I can't think of a better way to approach the end of this academic year than by honoring our outstanding students, faculty, and staff. Thank you for all that you do. I look forward to seeing everyone back on campus soon.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. I hope you enjoyed the events of the day. Special thanks goes out to all of our presenters, including Dr. B.C. Charles Liscombe, Andy Brunsman, Joshua Peter, Christy Sattler, Dr. Lisa Cruz, Dr. Robert Bodel, Jason Weimer, and Dr. Michaelann Kelley. Thank you to Dr. Michael Sontag, Dr. Glenn Chrysler, and Dr. Kelly Crow for your special assistance. None of this would be possible without the guidance and support of our partners in marketing and technology, Bevan Blankenbuehler and John Moore. And finally, a huge thank you to Chrissy May, who works as the administrative assistant for the Office of the Provost. She has been the creative force behind so much of this, and I am lucky to work with her. We look forward to hosting the Celebration of Teaching and Learning and Honors Convocation next year in person. Take care and God bless.